LeBron's hurt now, and man, I don't know what this is gonna do to the Lakers.
That was a
It's
smooth transition.
I
I
appreciate
just realized.
that. What do you guys think this is
I'm
gonna
like,
do
oh,
to the Lakers?
you're like, oh, LeBron's hurt the Lakers. Um, I think that it could be kind of disastrous, but I don't think it's gonna be like no Rockets thing where they're gonna lose hella games straight. But I do think they're gonna be a lower seed because you don't want to rush LeBron or Anthony Davis back. But I do hope that they can come back at least like 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
What did I say something wrong?
No,
What did I
no,
say
I'm
before
Lucky
listening to
Anthony
you.
Davis?
Rob was drinking wine. Rob pulled out a wine glass, just threw me off. It was random.
Did
Sorry.
you drink some?
Yeah,
He
I'm drinking
did.
wine.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
you're not
man.
on a date with us, bro. Oh, wait. You already had your date.
It's an NBA podcast. You have to drink wine during an NBA pod.
Yeah, man. I don't know what the Lakers are gonna do. Like, oh, but you threw me off. I kind of wish I seen it, but yeah. I really don't care about this topic anymore. I kind of want to know what about this wine situation. Why are you drinking wine when we're talking about the Lakers?
I was drinking wine the last 2 weeks too. I usually just drink
What are
wine
you,
when
a
I'm home.
snob?
I drink a bottle. I drink usually drink like a glass of wine a night.
With the kids been stressing you out? Like, what's going on? Why are you drinking?
It's good for the blood.
Oh.
Sound
No,
like
but
I'm 40.
uh, I hope AD can and LeBron can come back to get like some synergy going before they enter the playoffs, so they can have some momentum. Because I think they'll be straight if LeBron and AD are healthy going into
Mm-hmm.
the playoffs, and maybe they'll get some rest from it. But I just the biggest thing is they kind of have a bad. They're not really deep. I mean, they have Schroeder and Harrell.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So I think that those two guys can get them some wins every now and then, but like I just hope they don't fall completely off track before the playoffs and they can stay in the playoffs.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ben.
I was just gonna say, I know I'm like Mr. Stat Guy today, but LeBron has the highest real plus minus in the NBA right now. So I think that speaks to how valuable he is to the Lakers team, especially because, they don't have that much depth, and AD has been struggling with injuries. And I think they could have always load managed AD and LeBron back and forth when one of them just played. But now that neither of them are playing, you're like in this
Yeah.
difficult spot of you don't want to rush them back, but you also need to rest them before playoffs. But you also want a good seed, so it's like they're kind of caught in between right now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they're kind of screwed. Obviously you lose your two best players, they're not in a great spot. But I mean the Lakers, obviously they're defending champs. So I mean you gotta give them some credit that Frank Vogel and his staff will figure it out. But some things that I've kind of observed aside, obviously LeBron injury sucks, but I mean he's older. I mean that thing's gonna happen. Like he's gonna get hurt or whatever. He's breaking. Not saying he's breaking down. He'll like it's just an ankle thing. But 3 or 4 weeks out of LeBron, like that you don't hear of that. Besides obviously his first year in LA when he like took like basically the rest of the year off when they were out. But also Montrezl Harrell like is on the trade block supposedly,
Yeah.
and that he might. I seen something like right before we started, like the Hornets could be looking to send like Terry Rozier, Malik Monk, and someone else for like,
Biombo.
yeah, for like KCP, Trez, and
I would say it was a
there was
second
like
round
another
pick.
guy. Yeah, and it's like so obviously some things just aren't working out for them, and they're also like some of these signings, like the main two signings I've seen that haven't worked out for them are Gasol and Trez. So they kind of got to. I'm not gonna say they have to reload, but like they especially with LeBron and AD out. They got to get something like another option in there, like to help them score. I think Terry Rozier would be a good pickup for their bench unit. Obviously, he's a bucket, so it's like he's a starter. I think obviously he's a starter on the Hornets. I'm pretty sure from last game. I think I
Yeah.
thought he was starting, but yeah. So I don't know. Obviously, I don't have them as my favorites. I didn't have them as my favorites, especially after the Nets got James Harden, but.
I
We'll
honestly,
see if they're healthy. I mean, obviously, they're a favorite to win the West, but we'll see.
Yeah, one way like
I
that
think
I
they had
actually
a
kind of look at this is I think that it sucks for the Lakers, but it's also very good for them. And where I'm going with that is it's going to make the team learn how to play without AD and LeBron. So players are going to have to step up, and it's going to really prepare them mentally for the playoffs. And you're also going to get a rested AD and LeBron for the playoffs. Obviously they're going to get the rust like off, I think, for the last couple of games of the season. But if they drop in the seeds, now say the Lakers end up being the 7 or the 8 seed, right? So now if you're the Jazz, you're like, all right, we got the 1 seed. We got the 1 seed. We've been killing it all year. And then you run into the Lakers first round of the playoffs. It's like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
And you're getting a healthy LeBron, a healthy AD, and they're both rested. So I think that's very beneficial for the Lakers, at least mentally, for their other players to prepare. I saw that one trade too about Trez. Um, I don't know if it'll happen, but I think it could be a great pickup for both teams actually. Because Trez was thinking about signing with the Hornets in the offseason. So now you're gonna get Trez. If Trez heads over there, um, imagine him next year because Prayer's up for LaMelo, ending his season short with his wrist injury. But imagine that pick and roll, and then you still have Devontae Graham, Gordon Hayward. That team's building. So I really actually like that trade for both teams. And like as you said, Choder, you get Terry, who's a certified bucket, and Malik Monk, who gets hot at almost random moments, but he's a great player as well. So I think that this is going to be really good, but also bad for the Lakers standings wise. But I think it's going to be great for them in the long run, coming towards the playoffs. They're sitting at 28 and 15. They're still third in the West. But if they could play 500 ball, but by the time they come back, they're still going to be in the playoffs.